The stars hung silent in the void as the observation vessel drifted at the edge of Sol system. Inside, Science Director Tejo studied the data streams with increasing worry. His four-fingered hands moved quickly over the control panel. The signals from the third planet were becoming stronger each cycle. Another broadcast, he said to his assistant, stronger than yesterday. The Galactic Confederation had ruled the stars for 8,000 years. 7 species working together, sharing knowledge, maintaining peace. They had protocols for everything, especially for finding new intelligent life. Earth should have been just another discovery mission. Instead, Tahoe couldn't shake the feeling that something was different this time. He prepared his report for the council with care. The humans were advancing too quickly. Most species took thousands of years to progress from basic tools to spaceflight. These humans were doing it in mere centuries. The council chamber was a perfect circle with 7 tall chairs. Each chair represented one of the Confederation species. Tahoe stood in the center, his blue skin looking pale under the bright lights. The signals are primitive, Tahoe explained. Simple radio waves. But their complexity increases with each Earth year. Council leader Minho leaned forward. His scaled skin reflected the light in rainbow patterns. How dangerous are they? They have nuclear weapons, Tahoe said. They fight among themselves, but they also create music and art. Their variety is unusual. Intelligence Officer Hannah stepped forward. She was the smallest person in the room, with large eyes that missed nothing. The humans are different from other species we have found, she said. They adapt quickly. When they face problems, they create new solutions. They do not follow patterns. What do you mean? Asked the representative from the gas giants. Hannah touched her control panel. A display showed human history. Most species develop technology in predictable ways. Not humans. They jump ahead, make unexpected connections. They went from simple flight to walking on their moon in less than 70 years. Minho waved his hand dismissively. They are still contained to one small planet. They have barely visited their own moon. The Confederation has spread across 12 galaxies. Yes, said Hannah, but at their current rate of development. Speculation, interrupted Minho. We deal in facts. The debate continued for hours. Some council members wanted immediate contact. Others suggested quietly guiding human development. A few even proposed limiting their progress through subtle interference. We have protocols, Minho finally said, ending the discussion. We observe new species from a distance. We do not interfere unless they develop faster than light travel. The humans are nowhere near that achievement. Tahoe did not agree, but he knew better than to argue further. The council's decision was final. Observation only. 3 ships would monitor Earth from the edges of their solar system. They would collect data and report back. We must be careful not to be detected, Minho added. Their instruments are primitive, but improving rapidly. As the meeting ended, Hannah approached Tahoe privately. The council is making a mistake, she whispered. These humans are different. I feel it. Tahoe nodded. I feel it too. But we must follow the decision. The observation ships took position near the gas giant, the humans called Neptune. Their advanced cloaking technology made them invisible to Earth's simple scanners, or so they thought. On Earth, in a small observatory in Chile, Dr. Kim looked at her computer screen with confusion. Something had changed in Neptune's orbit. It was tiny, almost undetectable, but her calculations showed a slight gravitational anomaly. She sent her findings to colleagues around the world. Within days, other astronomers confirmed her discovery. Something was near Neptune. Something that shouldn't be there. At the United Nations, an emergency meeting was called. Defense Minister Jiho stood before representatives from every nation. We have visitors, she said simply. The room erupted in questions. When order was restored, Jiho continued. 3 objects near Neptune. They're not natural. Their movement shows intelligence. They're watching us. Aliens? Someone asked. The word hung in the air. We must assume so, Jiho replied. They haven't approached Earth or made contact. For now, they're just observing. What should we do? Asked the Secretary General. Jiho looked around the room. What would you do if you discovered someone watching your house from a distance? Someone with unknown intentions and unknown capabilities. Prepare to defend ourselves, said the Russian representative. Exactly, Jiho said. I'm not suggesting aggression, but we must be ready for any possibility. The vote was unanimous. Earth would accelerate its space program. Nations would work together to develop better technology. If these visitors ever came closer, humanity would not be helpless. In her private office, Jiho looked at the night sky through her window. Were they friendly? Hostile? Just curious? Without communication, there was no way to know. But humans had always feared the unknown, and fear often led to violence. She hoped it wouldn't come to that. Back on the observation vessel, Taiho received alarming news. The humans had detected their presence. It should have been impossible with their level of technology. They've increased funding to their space programs, Hannah reported. All their major nations are working together now. Because of us? Tahoe asked. Yes, they know something is watching them. Tahoe thought about the Council's decision. They had wanted to observe without influencing, but their very presence had changed humanity's path. We should report this to the Council, he said. The Council will take weeks to decide what to do, Hannah replied. By then, who knows how far the humans will have advanced. Tahoe looked at the blue planet on his screen. Such a small world, with such a dangerous species. The Confederation had found many intelligent beings throughout the cosmos. None had ever detected an observation mission before. Keep watching, he said finally. Record everything. The humans are full of surprises. Little did he know just how surprising humans would prove to be. 20 years passed quickly for the watching aliens. For humans, these years meant great change. The strange objects near Neptune had pushed Earth to work together. Old enemies became partners. Nations shared their best science. The fear of unknown visitors from space united humanity like nothing before. The first Mars base was built in just 5 years. 3,000 people lived there now. They grew food in huge domes and mined the red soil for metals. Ships traveled between Earth and Mars every month. Europa, a moon of Jupiter, became home to 500 brave scientists. They built their colony beneath the icy surface, where a vast ocean held strange new life forms. Humanity had spread beyond Earth faster than anyone expected. Admiral Sung paced the deck of his command ship. The blue glow of screens lit his worried face. He was watching a human transport ship land on Europa. It was their third new colony this year. Impossible, he muttered. They were fighting with simple weapons 20 years ago. Now they're spreading through their system like wildfire. Izad, Officer Dury, nodded in agreement. They adapt to space faster than any species we've seen. No radiation sickness, no bone loss. Their bodies change to meet challenges. Some turn to face the large window showing Earth in the distance. The Council must be informed. These humans are not following normal development patterns. The emergency council meeting was tense. All 7 species sent their highest leaders. Science Director Tayo, now older with streaks of gray in his blue skin, presented the data. In 20 years, they've achieved what took our species nearly 3 centuries, Tahoe explained. Their technology improves daily. They've developed ion engines, basic artificial gravity, advanced life support systems. How is this possible? Asked the representative from the Crystal Worlds. They work together despite their differences, said Intelligence Officer Hannah. They share ideas openly. When they solve one problem, they immediately tackle another. Council leader Minho, who had once dismissed concerns about humans, now looked deeply troubled. If they continue at this pace, how long until they discover faster-than-light travel? Tahoe hesitated. Perhaps 30 years, maybe less. The room fell silent. No species had ever developed so quickly. Admiral Sung stepped forward. We must contain them now, while we still can. Restrict them to Earth. Remove their colonies. Take their ships. That would mean direct interference, Tahoe objected. It breaks our oldest laws. What happens when they spread beyond their system? Some countered. What happens when they meet other young species and share their dangerous ideas? The galactic order depends on slow, careful progress. These humans move too fast. They take too many risks. The debate lasted for days. In the end, Minho made the final decision. Deploy the fleet, he ordered. Contain the humans to their homeworld. For the safety of all. Some bowed. It shall be done. On the dark side of Luna, Earth's moon, deep underground, Captain Yoon walked through narrow corridors cut from solid rock. Armed guards stood at every intersection. No one without the highest clearance could enter this facility. After passing through 7 security checkpoints, Yoon reached the massive launch bay. There it was, humanity's greatest secret and greatest hope. The Battleship Defiance *. Unlike the bulky transport ships that carried colonists to Mars, Defiance was sleek and deadly. Its black hull absorbed light. Its shape confused radar. It carried weapons no human ship had ever wielded before. Chief Engineer Daehyun met her at the entrance ramp. "Is she ready?" Yoon asked. Daehyun nodded. "As ready as we can make her. We've never built anything like this before." "None of us have," Yoon said. "That's the point." Inside, the ship hummed with power. Crew members worked at stations filled with glowing screens. Defiance could operate with just 30 people, though it had room for 200. Yoon touched the cool metal wall as she walked. This ship represented everything humanity had learned in 20 years of frantic development. Knowledge gained from studying Europa's ocean life. Metals mined from Mars. Energy systems inspired by the strange readings from the alien watchers. In the command center, Officer Ju waited with the daily report. "Our sensors have detected movement," he said without greeting. "The objects near Neptune are on the move. Many more have arrived." Yoon's heart beat faster. "How many?" 50 ships, maybe more. They're forming a blockade pattern. Time until they reach Earth. 3 days at their current speed. Yoon sat in the captain's chair. It molded perfectly to her body. "Are the other Earth ships ready?" "Yes, Captain. But you know they're mostly for show. Defiance is our only real defense." She nodded. For years, Earth had built ordinary ships where the aliens could see them. Meanwhile, Defiance took shape in secret, incorporating every advancement humans could imagine. "Begin final preparations," Yoon ordered. "I want every system checked twice. Load all supplies. Alert the crew but keep civilian channels quiet. No need to cause panic yet." As her officers rushed to obey, Yoon studied the tactical display. 50 alien ships against Earth's small fleet. The odds were impossible. Unless Defiance worked as designed. Unless the theories were correct. Unless humanity's greatest gamble paid off. Yoon opened the ship-wide communication channel. "This is Captain Yoon. In 3 days, we will likely make first official contact with an alien species. We don't know their intentions. We hope for peace. We prepare for otherwise." She paused, looking at the faces of her crew. Young men and women who carried humanity's future on their shoulders. "Each of you was chosen because you are the best Earth has to offer. Each system on this ship exists because someone like you imagined it. We've built Defiance not to start a war, but to ensure we have a voice in what comes next." On her private screen, a message appeared from Earth Command. "Alien Feliti ACCL rating. Ninu arrival time. 36 hours." Yoon closed her eyes briefly. Less time than expected. She continued her address. "If they come in peace, we'll greet them appropriately," she told her crew. "If not," she let the words hang in the air. Everyone knew what Defiance was capable of. Everyone knew what was at stake. To your stations, she finished. History begins now. The Confederation fleet appeared at the edge of the solar system like stars being born. 50 ships of different sizes moved in perfect formation. Their hulls shimmered with strange metals. Their engines left no heat trail. They were silent and deadly. Admiral Sung stood on the bridge of his command ship. A large window showed Earth as a small blue dot in the distance. "Begin jamming all communications," he ordered. "No signals in or out of this system." Officer Dury pressed several buttons on his control panel. "Jamming active, Admiral. Earth cannot talk to its colonies now." Sung nodded with satisfaction. The humans would feel blind and alone. Fear would make them easier to control. "Prepare the message," he said. "Let them know their options." On Earth, panic spread quickly. Screens went dark. Radios played only static. Phone calls to Mars and Europa failed. The space stations orbiting Earth suddenly lost contact with ground control. In the United Nations Emergency Council, world leaders gathered in growing fear. "What's happening?" demanded the Secretary General. Defense Minister Geo pointed to the large screen showing space radar. "The objects near Neptune have moved. Many more have joined them. They're heading toward Earth. Can we contact Mars? Europa?" Geo shook her head. "All communications are blocked. We're cut off." A young technician rushed into the room. "We're receiving a transmission. It's not from Earth." "Put it on screen," ordered the Secretary General. The large display flickered. Then a face appeared. The alien had blue skin and large eyes. Its mouth moved strangely when it spoke, but the words came through clearly in perfect English. "People of Earth," said Admiral Sung. "I am Admiral Sung of the Galactic Confederation. We have observed your kind for 20 years. Your rapid development threatens the stability of the galaxy. You advance too quickly. You take too many risks." The room was completely silent. The first official alien contact in human history, and it came with a threat. "You have two options," Sung continued. "Submit to containment or face consequences. All colonies must be abandoned. All space vessels must be destroyed. You will remain on Earth under our supervision until you learn proper development patterns." The transmission ended. The screen went dark. After several seconds of stunned silence, the room erupted in angry voices. "They can't do this. We've done nothing wrong. Who are they to decide our fate?" The Secretary General raised his hands for quiet. "Minister Geo, what are our options?" Geo glanced at her secure tablet, then met the Secretary General's eyes. She spoke carefully, aware that the aliens might be listening. "We should open diplomatic channels," she said loudly. "Perhaps we can negotiate better terms." Her tablet screen showed a different message. "Defiance. Ready. Needs time to position." The Secretary General understood immediately. "Yes, diplomacy is our best option. Prepare a response. Tell them we wish to discuss their terms." While Earth's leaders pretended to consider surrender, Captain Yoon received encrypted orders on the Defiance *. "Move into position," she told her crew. "Use Jupiter's shadow for cover." The massive battleship glided silently away from the moon. Its engines left no visible trail. Its hull absorbed radar signals instead of reflecting them. To outside observers, it simply disappeared. Defiance reached Jupiter in hours instead of days. The giant planet's bulk hid the ship from the alien fleet. Yoon studied the tactical display showing the aliens' position. "Ready the experimental drive," she ordered. "All crew secure for jump maneuvers." In the engine room, Chief Engineer Dae-Yen checked the glowing core of the ship. No human had ever built such a power source before. It combined everything they had learned from studying the distant alien ships for 20 years. "Drive is ready, Captain," he reported. "But remember, we've never tested it at full power." "No time like the present," Yoon replied. Back on Earth, the negotiations were going poorly. The alien admiral rejected every compromise. "There will be no partial containment," Sung insisted. "All humans must return to Earth. All colonies must be abandoned. All ships must be destroyed. We need time to bring our people home safely, argued the Secretary General. You have 7 Earth days, Sung replied. After that, any humans found off-world will be removed. The Secretary General's tablet flashed a message. DFINCE in position. Ready. Admiral, he said, before we continue, might I ask why you fear us so much? We are still primitive compared to your Confederation. Sung's face showed surprise at the direct question. We do not fear you. We protect the galaxy from chaotic development. All species must follow the proper path. And if we refuse, Sung's expression hardened, then you will be forced to comply. The Secretary General nodded slowly. I understand. He pressed a button on his tablet. Execute. In the shadow of Jupiter, Captain Yoon received the signal. Experimental drive activating, she announced. All hands brace for jump. The ship hummed with power. The deck vibrated beneath their feet. Officer Juwu counted down. Jump in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The stars blurred around them. For a moment, the crew felt stretched and compressed at the same time. Then reality snapped back into focus. Defiance appeared suddenly in open space, directly between the alien fleet and Earth. The massive human battleship seemed to materialize from nowhere. On the Confederation command ship, alarms blared. Science Director Teo rushed to the bridge. Something has appeared, shouted Officer Dury. A ship, but the size. The main screen showed Defiance in all its glory. The human vessel was nearly twice the size of the largest Confederation ship. Its black hull gleamed with strange patterns that seemed to shift and move. Weapon ports lined its sides, unlike any design the aliens had seen. What manner of ship is this? Gasped Tao. This is impossible. Their technology was primitive only years ago. Admiral Sung stared in disbelief. Scan it. What are we facing? The results made no sense. The hull contained metals unknown to the Confederation. The power readings fluctuated in patterns that defied analysis. The weapons systems registered as both familiar and alien at the same time. It's as if they've taken pieces of a dozen different technologies and combined them in ways we never imagined, Tahoe said, his voice filled with reluctant admiration. How did they jump here? Demanded Sung. They don't have faster-than-light capability. Apparently they do, Tahoe replied quietly. And more. On the bridge of Defiance Captain Yoon stood tall. Her crew worked calmly at their stations despite the tension. Open a channel to the alien fleet, she ordered. Let's introduce ourselves properly. The communication officer nodded. Channel open, Captain. Yoon looked directly at the camera. This is Captain Yoon of the Earth Defense Ship Defiance *. We've been watching us for 20 years. Now it's time we talked face to face. The alien ships moved quickly into a new pattern. The smaller vessels formed a half circle. The larger ships stayed in the back. It was a battle formation. They were preparing to fight. On his command ship, Admiral Sung watched the human vessel with growing anger. This was not how things were supposed to happen. Humans were supposed to be weak and scared. Instead, they had built this impossible ship that appeared from nowhere. Continue scanning, he ordered. I want to know everything about that ship. What weapons does it have? How strong are its shields? How did it jump here? Officer Dury shook his head. Our scanners cannot make sense of it. Admiral, the hull has materials we don't recognize. The power source is strange. It doesn't match any known design. Science Director Teo studied the readings with amazement. They've combined technologies in new ways. Look at these energy patterns. They've taken ideas from a dozen different approaches and merged them together. Is it dangerous? Some demanded. I don't know, Tahoe admitted. Our systems can't classify most of its capabilities. Sung's face hardened. Then we will test it ourselves. Target their main engines. Fire warning shots. 3 Confederation ships moved forward, their weapons charged with bright blue energy. Beams of light shot across space toward Defiance *. On the human ship, alarm sounded. Officer Juwu called out, "Incoming fire." Impact in 3 seconds. Captain Yoon remained calm in her command chair. Activate defense field. A shimmer appeared around Defiance *, like heat waves above hot pavement. When the alien beams hit this invisible barrier, they didn't explode. They didn't bounce off. They simply disappeared, absorbed into the field without a trace. The bridge crew cheered. The defense system worked exactly as designed. 20 years of studying alien technology had paid off. Damage report, Yoon asked. Chief Engineer Dae-hyun checked his screens. No damage, Captain. The field absorbed the energy completely. Power levels increased by 3% actually. We're stronger than before they shot at us. Yoon smiled. Open a channel to the alien fleet. On the Confederation command ship, Admiral Sung received the human transmission with surprise. "We seek friendship, not submission." Captain Yoon's voice came clearly through the speakers. Her face appeared on the main screen, calm and determined. "We will not be contained. We will not abandon our colonies. We will not destroy our ships. But we are willing to talk as equals." Sung turned to Tayo. "Their defense field absorbed our shots completely. How is this possible?" "I don't know," Tayo admitted. "This technology is new to us." "New?" Sung's voice rose. "They're humans. They were throwing spears at each other a few centuries ago. And now they're here," Tayo said quietly. "With a ship that can withstand our weapons and jump through space without traditional drives. We should consider what the captain said about talking." Sung slammed his fist on the arm of his chair. "I will not negotiate with primitive species. The council must decide what to do." An emergency meeting was called. Leaders from all 7 Confederation species joined through secure channels. The debate was heated from the start. "Destroy them now," urged the representative from the desert planets. "Before they become even stronger, one ship we might defeat. What happens when they build more?" "We cannot just destroy them," argued the leader from the ocean worlds. "They'd done nothing wrong except develop quickly. Is that a crime worthy of extinction?" "They combine technologies in ways we never imagined," said another. "That alone makes them dangerous, unpredictable, or valuable," countered Tayo. "Think what we might learn from them." While the aliens argued, Defiance remained in position. Captain Yoon received updates from Earth. The colonies on Mars and Europa were preparing defenses in case the aliens attacked there next. Earth's smaller ships were moving into protective formations around the planet. In the engineering section of Defiance Chief Engineer Dae-hyun worked with a young officer named Jun. They studied the alien ships' communication systems. "Their technology is advanced that follows strict patterns," Jun observed. "See how all their ships use the same communication frequencies. There's no variation." Dae-hyun nodded. "They think in straight lines. One problem, one solution. Always the same solution. That's their weakness," Jun said. "They don't adapt. We've spent our whole history adapting." He pointed to a specific reading on his screen. "I think I can break into their communication system. Not to attack it, but to open a direct channel." "To what purpose?" Dae-hyun asked. "To talk. Really talk. Not just captain to admiral, but person to person. If we can understand each other better, maybe we don't need to fight." Dae-hyun considered this. "It's risky. They might see it as an attack." "Everything is risky," Jun replied. "That's how we got here." After thinking for a moment, Dae-hyun nodded. "Do it. But inform the captain first." On the bridge, Captain Yoon listened to Jun's plan with interest. "You can create a direct link to their flagship. Bypass their official channels." "Yes, Captain." Jun's voice came through the comm system. "Their communication technology is advanced but rigid. I found a way in that they won't expect." Yoon thought about the risks. The aliens were still debating what to do. Their ships remained in attack formation. At any moment, they might decide to open fire with everything they had. Do it, she decided, but make it clear we're reaching out in peace. We want to understand them, not hack their systems. Understood, Captain. In his small workshop deep in Defiance's engineering section, Jun activated his newly created device. It hummed softly as it searched for the right frequency. On the Confederation flagship, Admiral Sung was still arguing with the Council when a new voice came through the ship's speakers. "Hello? Can anyone hear me?" The aliens froze in surprise. This wasn't coming through the official communication channel. Somehow, the humans had bypassed their security systems. "This is Engineer Jun from the Earth ship Defiance *." The voice continued. "I'm not a captain or a diplomat. I'm just someone who builds things. I wanted to talk directly, person to person." "How did you access this channel?" demanded Sung. "This is a secure system." "I found a way," Jun replied simply. "That's what humans do. We find ways. Not to attack you or threaten you, but to understand you better." Science Director Taho moved closer to the speaker. "I am Science Director Taho. Why have you contacted us this way?" "Because official talks aren't working," Jun said. "While our leaders argue, misunderstandings grow. We should speak directly, before those misunderstandings lead to tragedy." Taho looked at Sung, who seemed too angry to respond. Then he made a decision. "I agree," Taho said. "Tell me about your ship, Engineer Jun. Perhaps we can start there." The small station hung between Earth and the alien fleet. It was not part of either side, but a hastily built meeting place. Inside, 6 humans and 6 aliens sat around a round table. The walls were plain metal. The lights were bright. The air felt heavy with importance. Captain Yoon entered first. She wore a simple blue uniform with Earth's symbol on the shoulder. She carried no weapons. Behind her walked 5 advisors, scientists and diplomats chosen for their calm minds. Minutes later, Admiral Sung arrived with his own team. His blue skin looked darker in the station's lights. His large eyes moved quickly, studying everything. His advisors represented different species from the Confederation, each with unique features, scales, extra limbs, strange colors. No translator machines stood between them. During the week since Engineer Jun's first contact, humans and aliens had worked together to create a shared language. Both sides had learned quickly. "Welcome to neutral ground," Captain Yoon said, extending her hand as humans did when meeting. Admiral Sung hesitated, then copied the gesture awkwardly. His hand felt cool and slightly rough against Yoon's skin. "Your words are clear. You learned our language patterns well." "As you learned ours," she replied. "Shall we begin?" The talk started slowly. Both sides explained their histories. The Confederation told of its 8,000 years of peace. Humans shared their much shorter story of rapid change and growth. "We have watched many young species develop," Sung explained. "All follow similar paths. Slow, careful steps forward. Centuries between major discoveries. This creates stability. But humans don't follow that pattern," Yoon said. "No, you jump ahead. You take risks. You try new combinations no one has imagined. It is disturbing." Yoon nodded. "Because it threatens the order you've built." As the day passed, the conversation became more honest. The advisors spoke less. Yoon and Sung spoke more directly to each other. "We feared your adaptability would destabilize millennia of order," admitted Sung finally. "We thought you might spread chaos through the galaxy. Other species might follow your example. Everything we built could collapse." Yoon considered his words carefully. "And we feared your restrictions would prevent us from becoming who we could be. Humans have always pushed boundaries. It's not just what we do, it's who we are." One of Sung's advisors, a small female with green skin, spoke up. "But don't you fear your own progress? Your weapons grow more powerful each year. Your changes to your own planet have caused damage." Yes, said Yoon honestly. We make mistakes. Terrible ones sometimes. But we learn from them. We adapt. We try to do better. That is why you are dangerous, Sung said. And also, he seemed to struggle with the words, why you are interesting. As night fell, by Earth time, both sides agreed to rest. The humans returned to Defiance *. The aliens went back to their flagship, but something had changed. Trust had begun to grow. The talks continued for 3 more days. Engineers from both sides shared knowledge. Scientists exchanged discoveries. Military leaders compared tactics. Each found things to admire in the other. On the final day, Captain Yoon made an offer. Join us, not as our rulers or as our students, but as our partners. The Confederation has stability and wisdom from thousands of years of experience. Humanity has new ideas and adaptability. Together, we could be more than either of us alone. The alien delegation spoke privately for several hours. When they returned, Admiral Sung looked different. His posture was more relaxed. His large eyes seemed brighter. The Confederation agrees, he said. A new accord will be created. Humanity will join our alliance not as subjects, but as equals. Your colonies may continue to grow. Your ships may continue to explore. But you will share your discoveries with us, and we will share ours with you. The handshake that followed was not awkward this time. It felt right. It felt like the beginning of something important. News spread quickly across Earth and its colonies. After initial disbelief, people celebrated in the streets. The aliens were not invaders but potential friends. The universe had just become much larger and more interesting. 1 solar year passed. Earth established formal relations with all 7 species of the Confederation. Alien visitors became common sights in human cities. Human scientists traveled to distant worlds to study and learn. Defiance once built for war, received a new mission. It was refitted with both human and alien technology, creating a ship more advanced than any that had come before. Its crew included members from Earth and the Confederation, working side by side. Captain Yoon remained in command. As she walked through the improved ship, she marveled at how much had changed in a single year. Humans worked alongside blue-skinned aliens at control panels. Engineers from both worlds designed new systems together. The mess hall echoed with laughter in multiple languages. We're ready for launch, Captain, reported Officer Juwoo. All systems functioning perfectly. Thank you, Yoon replied. Is our guest aboard? Yes, Captain. Admiral Sung arrived an hour ago. He's waiting on the observation deck. Yoon found the Admiral staring out at the stars. He wore the formal uniform of the Confederation, but it now included Earth's symbol as well. Beautiful view, she said, joining him. Indeed, I never thought I would stand on a human ship looking outward. As a friend. Life is full of surprises. That's what makes it interesting. Sung turned to face her. Tomorrow we travel beyond the galactic rim. No Confederation ship has gone that far before. We were always too cautious. And humans were always too reckless, Yoon added with a smile. Now we balance each other. The ship's engines hummed to life. On the bridge, human and alien crew members worked together, preparing for the historic journey. Defiance would lead a fleet of 12 ships from various worlds on the greatest exploration mission in known history. Later that evening, as final preparations were completed, Admiral Sung spoke quietly with Science Director Taeho in the ship's garden area. I remember when we first detected their signals, Taeho said. You wanted to restrict them to their planet, to contain them. Sung nodded. I was afraid of their differences. I saw only threat, not opportunity. And now I understand that what we once feared most about humans may be exactly what our galaxy needed all along. He gestured to the ship around them. Look what we've accomplished together in just 1 year. Imagine what comes next. As Defiance prepared to depart, Earth glowed blue and beautiful below. The ship that had been built to protect humanity would now lead it to new discoveries among the stars. Not alone, but with new friends from across the galaxy. Different but together. Separate but united. The future suddenly seemed brighter than anyone had imagined. The end.